She will act like it doesn't matter where love and knowledge meet in the Stoic king. Affect her. She'll laugh it off, pretend she doesn't care, and convince herself and everyone around her that it means nothing. But deep down, it shakes her. It gets under her skin in a way she won't admit, not even to herself. See in modern dating. Most men are predictable. They chase, they over-explain. They desperately seek validation, thinking that if they just try harder, they can fix things. But the man who truly understands power, the man who embodies Stoicism, operates differently. He doesn't react, he doesn't beg, he doesn't seek approval. Instead, he moves in silence. And that silence, it unsettles her. It makes her question everything. Because the truth is, most women expect to be pursued. They expect you to crave their validation, to feel a sense of loss when they pull away. But when you refuse to play that game, when you detach focus on your mission and stop needing her approval, that is when her ego takes a hit. She cannot ignore. She'll act like it doesn't matter. She'll deny it until the very end. But make no mistake, it destroys her. In this video, we're breaking down why this works, the psychological triggers behind it, and how you can apply Stoic wisdom to keep your inner peace, shift the power dynamic, and make her rethink everything. All right, let's dive if you're ready. Her illusion of control is number one on the list. Gone. A woman's ego thrives on one thing, the belief that she holds power over you, and whether you realize it or not you gave her that power every time you put her first, every time you prioritized her over yourself, every time you treated her like she was some untouchable goddess. You unknowingly sent her one clear message: you are above me. And here's the brutal reality: she never respected you for it. Most men think that if they just prove their worth, if they give more love, harder, show more devotion, she'll finally appreciate them. But it doesn't work that way. The more you give, the less she values you. Not because women are cruel, but because human nature works that way. We don't respect what's easily obtained. We don't admire what's constantly available. She won't tell you this. She might not even be conscious of it. But deep down, she knows she's trained you. She knows that all she has to do is pull away, act indifferent, and you'll scramble GBL to win her favor. No, this is not love. It's just desire. She will continue to control the situation as long as you continue playing the game. But when you stop reacting, when you take away the one thing she's always counted on, your emotional investment, when you stop seeking her approval, when you stop chasing, when you let her be the one sitting in uncertainty, that's when the illusion falls apart. She may refuse to acknowledge it, pretend it doesn't bother her, or even make fun of you, but the truth is that it does. Because a woman who is used to controlling a man's emotions hates when she loses control, and her ego takes the biggest hit when she realizes that her usual strategies no longer work, and her absence no longer affects you. Number 2, the power of ignorance. In anger, when a woman pulls away or acts coldly, dismissive, most men lose it. They panic, chase, and beg, thinking that if they just prove their worth or try a little harder, she'll see their value. But that's not how it works. Every time you cling or seek her approval, you give her all of your power and tell her that I need you more than you need me. Once she knows that your value drops, she doesn't respect it, admire it, or expect it. But a Stoic knows that true power lies in indifference. Nothing upsets a woman more than a man who doesn't react, who doesn't care, who doesn't try to win her back when she starts to pull away, and who doesn't chase you. That's when the power shifts. She expects you to fight for her attention, to prove yourself and show her that you still want her. But when you don't, when you stay unmoved and unshaken, she starts to wonder why you aren't reacting, why you don't care, and why you are no longer playing along. That realization hits her hard because she's now the one sitting in uncertainty. She's the one questioning herself. and whether she admits it or not, that destroys her. The unexpected shift that breaks her ego, number 3. The unexpected shift that breaks her the moment you stop seeking her validation, the moment you refuse to play along, something shifts, and she feels it. She might act like she doesn't care, like your silence means nothing, like she's perfectly fine without your attention. But deep inside, it unsettles her, not because she's lost you, but because she's lost control. See, she was counting on your reactions. She expected you to fight for her, to chase, to prove yourself over and over again. That's how it's always been. That's how most men respond. But when you don't, when you go quiet, when you carry yourself with unshakable confidence and keep moving forward as if nothing happened, it forces her to confront something she never thought she'd have to face, the reality that she was never the center of your world, and that realization, it cuts deeper than rejection ever could, because rejection is direct, it's clear, it's obvious, but indifference lingers. It makes her question everything. Why isn't he reacting? Why doesn't he care? Was I am not as important as I thought? That thought alone shakes her ego more than any words ever could, because for the first time, she's the one left wondering, feeling out of place and questioning her own worth. That was the change she didn't see coming before we went into stage 4. We'd like to thank you for sticking with us through the middle of this video journey. Every moment is an opportunity to learn and grow, and the fact that you're here with us, listening and thinking with us, is a huge gift that I value every minute, because it helps us teach these important lessons to even more people. Please click the like and share buttons on this video. Each share is small but important, just like the timeless lessons that Stoicism offers. Let's keep exploring and embracing these timeless pieces of wisdom together. Thank you again for your continued support. Number 4, going away. Going away. The ultimate ego destroyer is the ultimate ego destroyer. She was certain that no matter what she did, no matter how far away she became, no matter how cold or dismissive she became, you would always be there for her. She thought that you would keep proving yourself, keep chasing, keep showing her that she was special. But now she's in a place she never thought she'd be. Silence. Most men struggle with the discomfort of leaving. They attempt to compensate by engaging in a final conversation, offering a final opportunity to clarify their position and gain her understanding. However, a Stoic man remains calm and composed. Stoic men don't seek attention, assert their value, or demand understanding. Not out of spite or to play games, they leave because they know something she doesn't. Their self-respect is unwavering, and when they do this, they remove themselves completely. The weight of it hits her when she isn't angry or bitter, but simply confident in what she knows. She has to sit with her own decisions for the first time. She has to face the empty space where your attention used to be. She has to ask herself why you didn't fight, why you didn't try harder, why you didn't do what every other man has done for her. And whether she admits it or not, she feels that loss, that shift, that moment when the power she once had over you falls apart in front of her eyes. Nothing hurts a woman's ego more than when a man who used to care suddenly stops caring, when a man who used to give suddenly stops giving, and when a man who used to stay suddenly decides to leave instead. 5. Letting go is the key to true strength. Letting go is the key to true strength. It may sound easy, but for most men, letting go is the hardest thing they'll ever have to do. They're afraid that if they walk away, stop trying, or finally let go, they'll lose something important. So they tell themselves, maybe if I just wait a little longer, maybe if I just try one more time, maybe she'll finally see my worth. But she won't. As long as you persist, you're communicating to yourself and her that she holds greater importance than your own self-respect. And the longer you persist, the more power you relinquish, But Stoicism teaches us holding on to something that doesn't help you anymore only makes your pain last longer. You think that holding on is power, but real strength is letting go. You become stronger when you know when to let go. When you let go, when you truly release that attachment, something amazing happens. You regain your power. This is because letting go isn't about giving up. It's about choosing yourself. And that choice changes everything because now you're in charge. You're not at the mercy of someone else's indifference or validation, or the inability to see your worth. You stop waiting for her to care or hoping she'll change. Instead, you focus on your own growth, your own peace, your own future. The moment you truly let go, she feels it, because now the power dynamic has flipped. Now she is the one wondering why you don't care anymore. Now she is left questioning whether she made the wrong choice, but by the time she realizes it, she starts to feel the weight of your absence. You'll be too far gone, and that is the ultimate act of build a life that doesn't revolve around her strength number is 6. Create a life that doesn't revolve around her. Most men tend to trap themselves in this situation. They center their entire world around one person, entrusting their happiness, purpose, and identity to her. They believe that if they show her enough love and proof, she won't leave. However, they fail to understand that when a woman becomes your world, you lose yourself. A Stoic man understands that a well-lived life isn't built on chasing someone else's approval. It's built on self. Your career, passions, and purpose make you valuable, not desperate attempts to please others, but the deep, undeniable strength of being fulfilled on your own when you focus on your growth. When you stop looking for approval, something amazing happens. She starts to notice. She starts to wonder why you don't care about her anymore, why you're not available anymore, and why you're not hanging on to every word. That's when the change becomes permanent, because a woman's ego thrives on the idea that she is the center of your world. The moment she realizes she isn't, the moment she sees you moving forward fully confidently without hesitation, everything changes, but by then it's no longer about her. It's about you, the man. You've transformed into a man who doesn't linger or plead for attention. Your worth doesn't depend on other people, and that's what makes you truly a man. Mastering the unstoppable number 7. The art of absolute detachment is one of the hardest things to master, but once you do, everything changes. Most men think that detachment means acting like you don't care about her to make her think she doesn't matter, but real detachment is more than that. It's not about playing games, it's about not being affected at all. A Stoic man is unmovable, not because he's cold or emotionless, but because he knows one simple truth: his peace is his greatest strength. He knows that his worth, purpose, and sense of self don't come from outside sources, especially not from someone else. He is in charge of himself, and that is all that makes him unstoppable when a woman wants to be with him. When you stop reacting and move on as if her presence or absence doesn't affect your life, she has no choice but to reevaluate everything. She may tell herself it doesn't matter and act like it doesn't bother her, but deep down she's upset because people rarely appreciate what they think will always be there until it's gone. When you master detachment and cultivate your inner strength, you send a clear message: no matter with or without you, I am whole. That's the mindset of a man who deserves respect, not because he expects it or asks for it, but because he walks in a way that doesn't allow for anything less. Not sharkable self-respect is what changes everything. Respect yourself. In the game, share. Pride in oneself. It's the foundation of everything. It dictates how people see you, how they treat you, and most importantly, how you see yourself. Remember, if you tolerate disrespect, you are teaching people that it's okay to disrespect you. You might not say it out loud, but every time you accept being treated as an afterthought, Every time you let things slide, every time you settle for less than what you deserve, you are silently telling her and the world, this is all I'm worth. But a stoic man, a stoic commands respect, not by demanding it, not by forcing it, but by the way he carries himself. His actions set the standard. His presence alone makes it clear, this is the level of respect I expect, and anything less is unacceptable. He does not beg, he does not plead, he does not try to convince anyone of his worth, because he knows that true respect is never asked for, it is earned through the way you live. When you elevate your self-worth, everything shifts. She will either rise to meet your standards, realizing that she must treat you with the respect you deserve, or she will fade away, unable to handle the fact that she can no longer manipulate your emotions. Either way you win, because when you hold yourself to a higher standard, you naturally filter out anyone who cannot meet it. This isn't about arrogance, it's not about proving a point, it's about recognizing your own value and refusing to accept anything less. A man who respects himself never has to chase respect from others. It naturally comes to him, because when you become the kind of man who knows his worth, the world has no choice but to recognize it too. Watch everything and put yourself first. Make 9 changes. Watch everything change when you put yourself first. This is the last shift. The moment when everything clicks into place, because at the end of the day, getting someone to respect you shouldn't feel like a battle. You shouldn't have to fight for them to see your worth. Putting yourself first is the most important thing you can do. When you stop chasing, trying to prove yourself, and making other people the center of your world, everything changes. When you stop attracting people who take you for granted and start attracting people who truly respect you, the people who thought you'd always be there, always waiting, always proving yourself, will be left wondering what they lost, because now they feel your absence. They feel the weight of what they took for granted, and by the time they realize it, you'll be too far ahead of them to care. This isn't about games or revenge. It's about understanding a simple but life-changing truth. You are the prize, and the moment you start acting like it, the world will change. You no longer settle. You no longer wait. You don't need anyone to validate you. A man who chooses himself commands respect, and that's what makes him truly. At the end of the day, they were unstoppable. A stoic man knows this, and his peace is unassailable. He doesn't plead for attention or try to please someone, and he doesn't waste time trying to be enough for someone who never really valued him. He knows that the only control that's worth having is control over himself, his emotions, actions, and mindset. That's where his power lies, and when you accept that, when you stop reacting, when you stop explaining, when you stop trying to prove, respect is earned not through words or demands, but through the mere presence of a man who knows exactly who he is and what he will and will not accept. Those who took you for granted, those who thought you'd always be there, those who thought you'd always be waiting, those who thought you'd always prove, will feel the void you left behind, but by then you'll be too far ahead to care. Thank you for watching Stoic Heartbeat. If this spoke to you, don't stop here. Subscribe. Check out more of our content, and let's keep going on this calm trip together, because life isn't about chasing. It's about living fully and letting attraction flow. We'd love to hear your thoughts or ideas for future videos, so please leave a note below. Let's build a community of peace and wisdom together. See you in the next video.